The TikTok algorithm has been pissing me slapped off lately. I cannot lie. Got rage bait twice in like the span of 1 month. So I'm scrolling on TikTok today, the day after Christmas, and if I post this before New Year's, Happy New Year. So I get on TikTok, right? Someone's TikTok live is there in my face, ready to piss me off. I mean, these rage baits are amazing. For the most part, Avatar Aang failed as the Avatar. What in the mother flan are these people talking about? Hello, my name is Kalea. If you're new to this channel, hey. If you're not new to this channel, hello, how are you doing? I need to get straight into this rant. I'm so pissed off. Today we will be talking about every single avatar is destined to fail at something. Number one, yes, like I said, I got in that person's life and I requested and I joined it. And I said, what are you talking about? Aang is 12 years old. No, like seriously, imagine hearing at the tender age of 12 years old, you're pre-adolescent, you're 12 years old, you're a boy, and you sound like me. And you're being told that the sanctity and the safety of the entire world is at the palm of your hands. I wouldn't know what to do at current age. Imagine hearing that. I can't do nothing with this. This world right now in my hands, no, y'all are irredeemable. Avatar Aang, he was literally born as an air nomad. They're monks. They're based off of the Buddhist monks, or they're based off of monks. And monks are pretty peaceful people. They don't believe in violence. They're either vegan or vegetarian. He was literally born and raised to borderline be a pacifist. I mean, like most of his fighting style when he was fighting with King Bumi was like, oh, you're using the evade tactics, because they're literally taught not to use violence unless it's no other choice, right?
Typical airbender tactic. Avoid and evade.
Aang was born free-spirited, playful. So imagine hearing at some random day, you know, you're playing outside with your friends, like, hey, your butt stink, nigga, like, run away. Like, all of a sudden, somebody pulls you to the side and it's like, you're the Avatar. You gotta save the world. I know you want to play freezer tag and all that, but the world is going to go to literal flames. And you have to save us. And if not, everybody's gonna die. So, you gotta lock in. Come get the next Avatar. I'm not one. The next one now. At 12? What would you do? Quickly. His life was starting to get a bit more serious. He ran away. The Fire Nation became literally a totalitarian government. Like, their plan was to just reign tyranny, and because the previous Avatar Roku, failed to smack the shit out of somebody, and because he failed to smack the shit out of somebody, he ended up getting the smack out of him. And now everybody dying, everybody getting massacred, and that doesn't ultimately make Avatar Roku a bad avatar. He just failed to do his due diligence. Aang learns after he done spent 100 years in an iceberg, he still has to take down Fire Lord Ozai and learn all 4 of the elements in a span of a few months. Let's start there. So not only is this nigga pre-obsessed and sounding like Alvin the Chipmunk, but he also has to learn all 4 elements in the span of a few months. He hasn't even gotten a chance to grieve his people yet. Oh my god. He needs therapy first. Wait a minute. And he managed to master all 4 elements in a few months. Is the person that made the little prompt that Aang mostly failed as an avatar? When I told him about his age and I told him about he literally lost the whole foundation of his people and his teachings, that is a prime basis as to what led to him to make probably not the best decisions. All of a sudden, his age doesn't matter. Imagine being in the 6th grade and you have no friends, no family, no nothing. You're an orphan, bitch, and you got the same clothes that you had literally 100 years ago, and you're told that you gotta beat somebody that's 3 times your age. His other argument was that Aang failed to bring balance between the spiritual realm and the human realm. Like I said, Aang lost his entire heritage. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the monks were the most spiritual individuals known to mankind. So you lose access to not only your heritage, but the absolute most spiritual people known to mankind. Then, not only that, like I mentioned earlier, for a century, all the world, the entire world, all they knew was totalitarianism. Now, after you defeated the Fire Lord, you have now initiated a progressive era. We have known decades, centuries of tyranny, totalitarianism, fighting against injustice. It took us hundreds of years for us to finally be able to say, hey, human rights should not be something to be an argument against. So how are you going to put that blame onto a 12-year-old that successfully, by the way, defeated somebody that was about to be over the entire world?
Fire Lord Ozai is no more, just as the world will be reborn in fire. I shall be reborn as the supreme ruler of the world. From this moment on, I will be known as the Phoenix King.
What he failed to do, the next Avatar will do, and Avatar Korra successfully did that. But everybody be janking on Korra because she lost access to the previous avatars. And maybe the next Avatar after Korra is going to regain access to the previous avatars. But at the end of the day, you're saying that Avatar Aang is a failure for being a 12-year-old? With every avatar, that's why when they are going against their own natural element or their element that is at the antithesis of their personality or who they are, it's hard for them. They struggle with that. And that's Avatar Aang's journey. That's with every avatar's journey. They're literally meant to struggle. What the fuck? But in the end, like I said, what Avatar Roku failed to do, Avatar Aang handled. What Avatar Aang failed to do, Avatar Korra handled. Avatar Roku failed to smack Fire Lord Sozin. Avatar Aang smacked Fire Lord Ozai, and he failed to bring balance back to the spiritual realm. But an argument of that, one of the teachings in spirituality is that you are not supposed to reach over the 3D, or you're not supposed to reach over your current reality if you're not grounded and stable within oneself. And I think he also understood that, because he's having to reconstruct a government based off of tyrannical rule and totalitarianism and bring it back to a progressive era where everybody knows they're at peace after over 100 years of warfare. If you're not good with yourself, the last thing you do is reach into the esoteric. You don't reach over somewhere you're not ready to be. And I think he understood that balance. And in recognition of that, they weren't ready to have access to all of that yet. He didn't bring balance to the spiritual realm and the human realm, but he literally had to rebuild the world from scratch. Avatar Aang didn't bring balance to the spiritual realm and the human realm. Korra did. But in sacrifice of that, she lost all previous access to the past avatars. So she's basically her own therapist. He also brought back the airbenders. Like, in order to gain something, you have to sacrifice something? Oh, it's like that's what the avatar cycle is all about. I can't stand you niggas. The entirety of the avatar's reincarnation cycle is that each avatar before the last is destined to fail at something. The entire reason behind reincarnation is because you're needing to do something. Because times are forever changing. People are forever changing. Societies are forever changing. Expectations are forever changing. So that means the avatar is always going to come back and make reconciliation or reconcile for the past avatar's mistakes. He finally got the government right. Now the non-benders and the benders are beefing. All right, Korra, come on now. Korra got to smack a few people. People were calling Korra too much of a fighter. Oh, now all of a sudden, that's the end of this video. I just needed to rant. That's it. Love y'all.